The grand oak doors creaked open, echoing softly through the marble hallways of the mansion. Ethan Cole, a billionaire known for his unshakable confidence in boardrooms, had come home earlier than expected. His suit was still perfectly pressed, but his eyes carried the exhaustion of countless deals and deadlines. All he wanted was peace, a quiet drink, dim lights, and distance from the chaos of the world. But what he saw the moment he stepped inside froze him in place. There, in the glow of the chandelier, stood Elena, his maid, in her simple black and white uniform, holding a marker in front of a whiteboard. Her hand moved gracefully as she solved complex equations, her voice calm and steady. Sitting before her was his 7-year-old son, Lucas, eyes wide with fascination as though he were watching a magician reveal the secrets of the universe. Elena wasn't dusting furniture or polishing glass. She was teaching, and not just basic math, but formulas and patterns Ethan hadn't seen since his Ivy League days. For a second, he thought he was dreaming. But the chalkboard didn't lie. The numbers were real, and so was her brilliance. Before we go further into this heart-touching story, if you believe in kindness, humility, and second chances, take a moment to share, and subscribe to Everyday Heroes, where real stories remind us that greatness often hides in ordinary people. Ethan stood silently, hidden behind the doorframe. Elena didn't notice him. She was fully focused on Lucas. "Remember, Lucas," she said softly, "mathematics isn't about memorizing numbers. It's about learning how the world speaks." Those words struck something deep inside Ethan. He couldn't remember the last time he had taught his son anything meaningful. He'd spent his life chasing deals, meetings, and profit. Lucas had grown up surrounded by tutors and caretakers, but never by his father. And here was Elena, the woman he had barely acknowledged, giving his child something he never could: inspiration. When Elena finally turned and saw Ethan standing there, her face went pale. "Oh, sir, I didn't realize you were home early," she stammered. Lucas, unaware of the tension, beamed. "Dad, Miss Elena is teaching me real math, like scientists do." Ethan forced a smile. "Is that so?" Elena lowered her gaze, nervous. "I'm sorry, sir. Lucas saw my old notebook and asked questions. I used to study engineering before." Her voice faltered. Before life took a different turn, Ethan realized. That night, he couldn't sleep. The image of his maid explaining calculus to his son played over and over in his mind. She wasn't just a maid, she was a teacher, a thinker, someone who had once dreamed big before hardship buried those dreams. Over the next few days, Ethan found himself quietly observing their lessons. Elena's teaching was unlike anything he had seen. Patient, creative, and full of warmth. She turned math into stories and laughter. Lucas's focus grew sharper. His confidence soared. And Elena always ended every mistake with encouragement. "Every error means you're learning. Every failure is a step forward." Ethan's hardened heart began to soften. One evening, when Elena nervously offered to stop teaching, he interrupted her. "Elena, please don't stop. You've given my son something I never could. Tell me about your past." And for the first time, Elena shared her story. She had once been a top student, dreaming of becoming an engineer to build bridges in poor communities. But when her father died, she was forced to abandon her studies to support her family, ending up as a domestic helper overseas. Her story broke Ethan's heart. He realized he had been walking past greatness every day, blinded by wealth, status, and ego. From that day forward, he made a promise to help Elena continue her dreams. But to his surprise, she refused politely. "Sir, your offer means the world," she said, "but right now, my biggest joy is teaching Lucas. If he becomes someone kind and strong, that will be my greatest success." Those words changed Ethan. He began to spend more time with his son. He joined their lessons, asked questions, and even started learning again. His colleagues noticed he was no longer the cold, calculating billionaire. He was calmer, kinder, more human. But soon, rumors began to spread. Some of his investors mocked him, saying it was improper to let a maid teach the heir of his empire. "What will people think?" they scoffed. For once, Ethan didn't care. "They don't see what I see," he said quietly. Then, one night, Elena received heartbreaking news. Her mother was gravely ill back home. She tried to hide her tears, but Ethan noticed. Without hesitation, he offered his help. "Whatever you need, I'll take care of it." But Elena refused, shaking her head. "I don't want charity, sir. I just need to be there." Ethan leaned forward gently. "This isn't charity. It's gratitude. You've given us more than I can ever repay." Within days, he arranged for her to return home, ensuring her mother received proper care. Weeks later, he visited her small village himself, and saw how deeply Elena was loved and respected. Children surrounded her, eager to learn even as she helped her community with whatever little she had. That visit inspired him. When he returned, he told Lucas, "Your Miss Elena isn't just your teacher. She's a hero, and we're going to help her help others." Together, they started a foundation for education, with Elena as its heart and soul. When she finally returned, Lucas ran into her arms, whispering through tears, "I thought you wouldn't come back." Elena smiled softly. "I promised I'd never stop teaching you." And so she continued, this time not just for Lucas, but for hundreds of children who once had no hope. The man who once measured success in billions now found it in laughter, learning, and legacy. Years later, when people asked Ethan about the greatest investment of his life, he smiled and said, "It wasn't a company. It was a woman who reminded me what real wealth means, lifting others." Before you go, if this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Everyday Heroes, where real stories of love, sacrifice, and hope remind us that kindness can change the world. Comment below with the word "I inspire" if Elena's journey moved you today. Let's fill the comments with gratitude and light.